Whether you want to save money or you want to hit a specific dose for some sort of a protocol, or you just like to make things, you might like to make your own capsules. It sounds a little bit scary, but as I'll show you today, it can be quite simple and it can save you money and you can have a lot more control over exactly what mix of things you're taking in your supplement regimen. So here are some of the things that you're going to need in order to do this today. This is very important. This is a capsule maker, and I'll be showing you more of the different parts of this. This is available on Amazon. I'm sharing a link in the description. If you decide to buy it, please do so through that link because that helps fund making videos such as this. Another thing you're going to need is capsules to fill. These are size 0 capsules. Another thing we're going to want is our active ingredient. I happen to be using an ingredient called DMSA. This is for chelating metals from the body. Your active ingredient is going to vary depending upon what you want to do, obviously. And I've got 50 milligram capsules that I'm going to be breaking down today. Believe it or not, a lot of supplements you buy have some kind of a filler in it. Fillers are especially important for what we're doing today because we don't have a scale that we're using. We're going strictly off of volume to come up with the dose that we're trying to arrive at. So we need some sort of a filler, and you'll see why. So the fillers that I like to use are glutamine, bulksupplements.com, very cheap, and I mix a little bit of glycine in there for my own reasons that I'm not going to go into. Another good one is taurine. That is a very fine one. Some people use flour. I'm not sure whether that's safe or not. You can also use rice flour, cornstarch, if any of those things don't bother you. So whatever you use as a filler, be sure that it is something that's not going to bug you when you're taking it in the quantities that you're going to be taking it along with your active ingredients. Another thing I'm going to be using is colorants, and in this case I'm going to be using chili powder. Having some sort of a colorant, whether it is a spice or blueberry extract powder, works really great. It is very useful for being able to distinguish pills from one batch versus pills from another batch. It is also useful for getting an idea of how well mixed things are. As you're going to see, mixing well is going to be a very important step here. Also have some protection. I have some rubber gloves I'm going to be putting on so I don't contaminate my ingredients. I also will be wearing a respirator mask. This depends upon how you feel about inhaling accidentally some of your substances as they're floating in the air, as some of the powders get into the air. It all depends upon how safe it is, whatever it is that you're mixing. Another thing you're going to want is a series of bowls for sorting things. You'll see why we'll be needing those. And then something to mix the whole mixture in. We'll be using the straight edge that comes along with the capsule maker. Probably the most important thing is to have some sort of a plan of how you're going to mix things. I have 50 milligram pills. I'll be mixing 24 of them. That is 1,200 milligrams divided by 64 total capsules in the tray. Comes out to 18.5 milligrams of my active ingredients. The first thing I need to do is to get these capsules into 2 pieces. These ones come together. There might be some that are available that are pre-separated, but we need to separate them so that we can fill them. We need about 64 of them. And now I simply take them apart. There's a small part that's going to go in this bowl, large part's going to go in that bowl, and I'm just doing this. Here's the capsule maker. It has this tamper for tamping down the ingredients. I'm not going to be using that today. And this is for sorting the capsule pieces and getting them into the holes, which is something that you can do by hand. And that's usually how I do it, but I'll show you how these work because it doesn't actually work that well. We have this assembly here with a spring on it. And this is where the larger part of the capsules go. Put our sorter on it. And you just allow them to fall in. Now, most of them aren't going to fall in the right side, which is what makes this not all that useful. And you might as well just, as you're taking the capsules apart, go ahead and put them in by hand. That's what I usually do. Now when I take this sorter off, I'm going to see that there's some that are upside down. I could press down, grab those and turn them right side up. And this little tray is where the top half of the capsules goes. And on this tray, I can more easily see this one is upside down, and I also missed a couple. So now I have my bigger side of the capsule in this spring-loaded thing, and then the smaller side of the capsule in this thinner tray. So I'm ready to put my ingredients in this tray here. I need 24, according to my calculations and my plan, of these 50 milligram DMSA pills. Count those out. I'm going to cut the active ingredients out of these pills. The way I'm doing that is just with a knife. Parental supervision advised, and I'm just going to cut into the top part of it. So now I can remove it. And get it into my tray. This is obviously much easier if you have the active ingredient already in bulk powder. If you're wondering if you can do this with liquids, I don't think so. I wouldn't recommend it. Sometimes you can simply pull apart a capsule. That makes things a lot easier. Now we're going to get our active ingredient into the bottom part of the capsules, and we're going to do it just like this. And I know what you're thinking, David, you're an idiot. What? You can't just pour the active ingredient in the capsules and come up with the right dose. That's not going to work. And you'd be right. This is just part of the process. We have the 1,200 milligrams of our active ingredient in this case that are going to be divided up amongst the 64 capsules, and we're going to fill up all the capsules all the way with the active ingredient and the filler, and then we are going to mix things up so it's evenly mixed, and we'll have the right volume to fill all these, and we'll put it all back in here. Things will be more or less evenly distributed, okay? This isn't perfect science. If you're working with something where the dosage is extremely sensitive, then you should really be a lot more careful and don't follow my recommendations, except for to be more careful. Now to add in our filler. And let's add in our colorant too. I'll use half a teaspoon. You might notice I'm being very imprecise with my fillers and my colorant in terms of measurement. That's because the dosage of them, in my case, is just not that important. What's important is that we get these capsules filled up as much as we possibly can. You would think there would be some sort of a ridge around here to prevent spillage, but there's not, so you just have to be very careful. Now I've got all these capsules filled, but I have a whole bunch of extra ingredient here. What the heck am I going to do? Well, I'm going to grab it, and then I'm just going to shake, and that's going to allow a lot of the ingredients to settle in, and we're going to have a lot more space still left over in these capsules. So now I can even things out again. Now I still have extra ingredient. Well, I'm going to shake it again. Now I've got it all filled up, and I'm out of ingredient, but I'll shake it again. Now I have it pretty much filled up. I still have more ingredient available. I'm not going to push it any further. This is a case where I could use this tamper to sort of tamp that down and really pack it in, but as you'll see, I'm going to be wanting to get this stuff back out, so I don't really want to push it any more than I already am. So I need to dispose of this excess filler. If you're doing this often, if you get into practice, you might have an idea of exactly how much you need to put in these to fill things up given your recipe. Now I need to get all this out of these capsules and into a place where I can mix it up. I have my mixing tray. I'm going to take this yellow thing because this helps prevent the capsules from falling out. I've got the notch side down here, and then I'm going to shake it, and I might even tap it a little bit. Might even hold on to it, tap it a couple times. There you can see the ingredients are out of these capsules now. Now I have all my ingredients and filler, colorants all in one place, and I need to get them mixed up really, really well. You can think of other creative ways to get these mixed up. Sometimes you can put it in a ball jar and roll it around. It depends upon how small amount of active ingredient you want to spread across how many capsules. Smaller amount over a large amount of capsules, you need to really mix it well. But since I'm making 24 capsules into 64, I have a little bit more leeway. It's a little bit more forgiving. I don't need to try so hard to mix things up perfectly. You can see I have things well mixed. My colorant is even throughout here, so it's ready to go into the capsules. Now, of course, I have everything all filled up and I have a lot of ingredient left, so I need to shake it again. And again. Shake it again. Now it's ready for the magic. I'm going to shake this one last time because it's very important. Sometimes filler and other material will get stuck in between the capsule and the tray, and that's going to cause some problems when it comes to getting the capsule tops on top of there. You often have some errors where things get crunched up and it doesn't work so well, but we want to reduce that. So now we have our tops. I want to put this yellow thing on here with the notch facing up, turn it upside down, put it on top. I'm going to shake it just gently again to get that extra filler out of here. And when I'm ready, I'm going to press it down and hope that they all go together, which they usually don't. Now when I take off this, I will see how well everything turned out. And I just might have gotten a perfect tray here. However, each of these could use an extra push to really snap into place. As I said, oftentimes there's some sort of an error where one or two of them don't totally connect and they crunch up on each other like two cars crashing against each other and get crumpled up. And then you have to take the filler out and try to do it again. And it is possible to fill this tray with, one or two capsule halves if you have any extra. What you can also do is simply dump them all out and go through them one by one and press, and it snaps, and it's good to go. Or you can just risk it and hope that they don't fall apart in your pill case or whatever you have. It all depends upon your priorities. And that is how you make a bunch of pills. Sometimes there's a little bit of excess material down here. You can use that to make additional capsules if you want. If you want your calculations to be better, it's good to account for how much got lost down here. If you're using a filler like taurine, for example, is very fine, you're going to get a lot down here. So keep that in mind if it's important to get your dosage more accurate. And that is how you make pills. You can save a lot of money. You can have your exact dosage. You can make your own supplements from various mixtures. I hope that you found it useful. I'm David Cadavy. Thanks for watching the video.